Okay, hi everybody. We are getting ready to start our second day of shared reading, but before we jump into reading the poem again, I wanted to talk about where you're going to be capturing your thinking. Just like yesterday, you will be completing a couple different assignments in Schoology. We have a day 2 folder here that I want you to click in. And inside there are 2 assignments, one titled Visualization, the New Colossus, and the other Closure for the day, for day 2. Each of those is a different assignment that you'll be asked to complete as we work through the lesson today. So I just wanted to make sure you were aware of that. Let's go ahead and click over to our poem. This is the same poem we were using yesterday. Today we are looking at a different skill though. Yesterday we previewed this poem, The New Colossus, to kind of become familiar with the structures and layers of a poem. We noticed the title, the date, the author, some of the punctuation, and even some key vocabulary. Today we're going to be using the skill of visualizing. Readers use visualizing or envisioning to help understand the meaning of a text. Visualizing helps the reader to make personal connections to the text and to the larger concepts. This poem is rich in vocabulary, which automatically lends itself to pushing our minds to conjure images and make connections to prior knowledge that we have about certain concepts, and also to make connections to new concepts. My expectations, for you today are to continue to have eyes on text like we did yesterday, and that you're also ready to share your thinking throughout the lesson today in Schoology. Remember that I will be sharing my thinking out loud with you so you can hear, see, and feel how I visualize while reading this poem, so that at another time when you're on your own, you'll be able to do the same. Let's go ahead and begin by putting our eyes on the text. I'm going to begin rereading the poem from yesterday. You can follow along. I'm going to read the whole poem in its entirety first, and then we're going to go back through and talk about some of the images that are conjured up in my mind as I'm visualizing while I read. So to start with, we have Emma Lazarus, 1883. She is the author. The title is The New Colossus. Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conjuring limbs astride from land to land, here at her sea-washed sunset fate shall stand, a mighty woman with a torch, whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name, Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome, her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor that twin cities frame. Keep ancient lands your story pumped, cries she, with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. Now what I would like to do is kind of go back up and talk to you about my thinking as I'm reading this poem. So we just read it. Maybe you're starting to kind of conjure up some ideas as well and some images. I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I'm visualizing as I read this. From the very start, the new Colossus. I remembered from yesterday we talked about some of these words are pulled out over here with a definition. In this case it says huge or large in reference to an ancient Greek statue or sun god. So my mind is already starting to think about things. I'm thinking about this large statue, maybe of a large Greek god. I don't know, but that's kind of all I'm getting from the title right there. But as I continue through and I read brazen giant, conquering limbs astride from land to land, I start to see things. I start to see this image of a large, muscular man, maybe with his legs on top of a map from one country to the other. That's kind of what my mind is starting to conjure. As I continue to read on, I start to see some things here about a mighty woman with a torch whose flame is imprisoned, lightning in her name. So I'm wondering, is this a woman statue? Maybe not a Greek man statue. So I have all these images kind of popping up. As I scroll down and I look at the second stanza here, I noticed when I was reading, and we talked about this yesterday too, that there are some punctuation, some quotation marks. Keeping ancient lands your story pomp, cries she with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. I almost feel like the poem is switched a little bit and someone is talking to me. Maybe it's a female talking to me. I don't know, I've had this feeling, obviously, since it says cries she, that this is a female. I also get some more images here with huddled masses yearning to breathe free. I picture a bunch of people, maybe like struggling or really close together, or maybe like in a line or in a group huddled together. So I have a lot of things going on in my mind right now. What I would like for you to do is to really just pause the video for a minute And I want you to go into Schoology, like I showed you earlier, and go ahead and post an image and a statement from the poem, a line from the poem that matches that image. I'm going to kind of click back over so we can look at that. If you click into visualization, there's a place for you to click in and put a picture. So here, Jen has put in a picture of an image that she's visualizing. And then down below, she's posted also how the image was conjured from the poem. So she's posted the line, "Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame." And so she's put that in here with this picture. So I would really like for you to find a picture that really kind of matches what you're visualizing in your mind, and then also put in the line from the poem where that image was conjured from, and then kind of give a little explanation of that as well down below like Jen did here. I'm going to click back to the poem while you're working on that. So take a moment. Okay, now that you've posted an image and your reflection and kind of linked it back to a line in the poem, giving that evidence piece, we're going to go ahead and take a moment and do some closure to this poem and to our skill of visualizing today. So today we worked on the skill of visualizing. Readers use visualization to help understand the meaning of a text. Visualizing helps to make personal connections to a text and to larger concepts, as well as pulling together prior knowledge with new learning. I expect that you will apply this new skill when asked in the future. What I would like for you to do now is to go back into Schoology and go ahead and do the closure activity. So the closure activity is really just asking you that really important question. How has the skill of visualizing helped you understand what you are reading? So post your thoughts on there for me, and thank you for today.